Oh my god. Oh, okay, I gotta call her. Oh my god. Oh, jeez. Come on.
No.
What'd you say?
Hold on.
Hold on. What? She hung up on me? Grammy. Hello? Hello? You got your Bluetooth in and you got the thing turned on, do you? You can put me on speaker. Hello? Grammy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What's going on? What are you doing? Do you know what it is?
No.
Grammy, do you know what it is?
What is it?
It's straight shook on the rhetorical sake.
A snake?
I hope not a snake. It sounded like a jetliner, and I look up in the sky, and it's this big ass, round, Star Trek looking flying object. I've never seen anything like it, like defying gravity, roaring loud. And that was a UFO. It was the middle of the night, and we were the only ones out on the lake, and that boat came up with nobody on it, flashlight, motor running, and cruised right by us, not a soul in sight. The girl said no one else was on PCH. The flying object was over the Pacific Ocean and followed her until she got to Sunset Boulevard. Well, it scared her enough, she told me about it. And I plead the blood of Jesus over every and all things right now. Yeah, y'all know what it is. Str8 Shk, episode 6 on the rhetorical sake. Thank y'all again for joining me. It's your boy, ER Hunter, aka Papa Hunter, down south where they know where I'm at. Hey, y'all know what it is. Shout out to Atlanta, Georgia, Florida, Cape Coral. I see you. Switzerland, Sweden, Germany, France. Wow, I see you. Ireland, UK, Australia, all across the United States, even in South America, Canada. Really appreciate the love and thank you for listening. Check out the website, www.erhunter.live. Email me at earth@erhunter.live, and that's earth without the A, as you all know. And check out God Sent Dog, the story of how one dog led a man to sobriety. That's available on Amazon and Kindle. Kindle Unlimited, it's free, along with Chasing God Alcoholically, both of my books. I'm working on the third. I appreciate y'all hanging in there with me as we crank this thing out. Rolling on up to All Hallows Eve. This man at Trader Joe's was just standing outside. I was walking towards the entrance, and he was just staring at the dude that was playing the accordion from across the parking lot. And another guy was like, yeah, he's pretty good, right? And the dude was just playing covers of songs or whatever, pop songs. And the other guy in front of him, he was like, yeah, but the thing is, I was just up in San Francisco, and I saw him there. And I don't understand how he got down here so quick. And he's like, I've seen him at other Trader Joe's locations. And he was straight shook. Like, I guess this accordion player might be a teleporter. But life is good in the Str8 Shk world. I actually got some feedback from an acquaintance I see routinely at the dog park, and she tuned into the show and let me know that she thinks that certain spirits or something are trying to warn me and trying to communicate to me. So that's what a lot of my encounters, what she inferred from tuning in. So I appreciate the feedback, and if y'all have some, feel free to hit me up. You know where to find me. That was really sweet, though, and it reminded me of some acquaintances I had in the past. I think it was about 2 years ago. I met a nice couple from Alabama, and nice couple, very, very dark past. And there was this nightmarish beauty to their stories and the background of their heritage, and a lot of it was rooted in KKK type stuff. And I'm not too familiar with, the hate groups, but from what I've learned, obviously from growing up black, and I've been to Alabama multiple times. It's where I met my father for the first time in the Montgomery courthouse, 15 years of age. And I'm not angry at all. So they come from a much more rural part, so to speak, of Alabama. And I guess the gentleman's family has ties to that group. So guess that comes with some dark arts and dark magic, from what I gained from their stories. And he was telling it went back prior to his birth, but after he was born, there was a story about him being babysat by a snake. He was left alone, and when they found him, a snake was protecting him, kind of coiled or encamped around him, and wouldn't let anyone get close to him as an infant. He went on to say, a bunch of various stories about just some sinister characters in his life, and my heart goes out to the guy, but he's a beautiful person. They're great people. And that's today's show. I'm going to actually just be passing along some spooky stories that have had me straight shook, rather than have these people take out of their busy lives and come on my old rinky-dink podcast. I'm going to just throw them out there, and then maybe next season we'll have them come aboard and really discuss next Halloween season. Because I got a plan for Str8 Shk season 2. This thing has become a monster of its own. So he was saying that this guy would draw these spiders on the wall, and it would just be little stick figure spiders, but then he'd tap on the wall, and these drawings would fall off onto the table, and they'd be living insects, arachnids, spiders running around that he just drew. And that freaked me out. That creeped me out. And just the way he described it, the way he was telling the story, you could tell it was genuine. It was authentically had him shook, because that's his family. And he went on to talk about his aunt, because I kept prying. I'm not even doing it justice, what he described, but he talked about an aunt or cousin of his in an old family house of theirs, and she was taking a bath. She lived on her own, and she would never say what exactly she saw, but while she was in the tub, I guess something approached her. She was taking a bath in her house on her own with her door open to the bathroom, and from the hallway, something made her get up and run out of her house butt naked, and she never went back inside that house. That's just too good. That's just too good of a spook tale, a ghost story to not share. So I'll reach out to them, and maybe even before this holiday, we'll catch up on a Keeping It Real / Str8 Shk episode. So one of the interviews that's coming up is with actress Aisha, my former roommate. And when I moved in with her in North Hollywood, she's a beautiful, just light to the world. She's an awesome soul, and just this enigmatic character she is, and she's always her true self. Even when she's acting like someone else, you can see that that's her. Like, she's so good at it. She's a phenomenal actress, so I'm stoked. But upon moving in to this 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment in North Hollywood, about a week or two in it, she was like, have you like picked up anything weird at all? And I was like, I know, I get some like strange vibes. I was like, but I figured it's an old building, whatever, but nothing too crazy. And she was like, oh, okay, because I have a little friend. I was like, a little friend? She's like, yeah, like the man in white. I was like, the man in white? And she's like, yeah, you probably haven't seen him yet then, but you know, he kind of just gets a little jealous of my boyfriends or whatever, or guys, any male friends that I have. So just, you know, FYI, if you encounter anything. So there were times watching the television that I would feel like someone was behind me in the hallway going towards our rooms, like by the bathroom. And it was a spacious apartment, but the hallway was like 2 yards long. Like y'all know LA. If you're from LA, you know what I'm talking about. So it's like you got the AC unit on one side, and you got like the linen closet, which is 2 cabinets, deep cabinets, aka storage, and then you got the bathroom by the AC stuff, or the heater, or the water heater, whatever. So one time she came up to me and she was talking. She mentioned the man in white. I was sitting on the couch in the living room next to a little coffee table. I was drinking a little whiskey or something, probably whiskey, in a glass tumbler, and she was standing behind me from the side on the couch from her room. So she mentioned the man in white, and as she mentioned, I was like, nah, like ain't no big thing. I was like, I kind of get some weird vibes. The glass slides from about 3 inches on the table to the edge, and then stops, and then gets knocked over. And me and her both witness it. So I'm stoked to hear if she remembers that moment, because she just turned around and went to her room, and she was like, I guess maybe I had pissed this entity, this whatever, off, this idea even, who knows if it's real. And but it became real to us that night. The neighbor downstairs, she came up, like when things started to get really intense, and I'm going to divulge more in this 3rd book that I'm working on, so you gotta check it out. But the neighbor would come upstairs. It would just be me in the apartment, and by then I had a dog, but we would just be chilling, but sitting down, tired, just chilling on the weekend, watching Netflix. And she'd be like, well, who's stomping? And I'm like, no one is stomping. And she's like, no, someone's walking back and forth, and it's from your apartment. You're right above me. And I'm like, we're literally just sitting here. And that was creepy. That was really creepy. And the neighbor, the building manager, he was a ghost hunter, like on television, like some producer. So he'd be talking about bringing stuff back. So y'all, I did what I had to do. And when Aisha was gone 1 week or 2, I had a little seance. I had learned some stuff from a witch from a New Year's party I went to. She gave me some tips, and I kind of meshed that with prayer and burning sage. And I walked around that apartment, and when Aisha got back, right when she walked the door, she came out of her room. She's like, did you get rid of the man in white? And I was like, yeah. That was confirmation, just her asking. It was a rhetorical question, clearly, for me. But that was confirmation. So I look forward to hearing where she's at with all that. We're going to just catch up regardless. But it's a great way to break the ice and start the conversation. Because, you got those friends that you don't talk to all the time, but you love them. And that's just part of growing up. We grow apart physically, but spiritually and mentally, we know that we're endeavoring to better ourselves. And being our most authentic selves wherever we're at enables both of us to empower the other, all of us. So there you go. That's a whole, see, we going right back to the rhetorical sake. Let's stay on track. Scary stories, Str8 Shk. Y'all know what it is. Hey, y'all know what it is. I had to interrupt our show to just highlight God Sent Dog and Chasing God Alcoholically, the books I authored and published myself. They're available on Amazon and Kindle. And I know I just mentioned that at the beginning of the episode, but it is how I keep things afloat. And I want to keep things surface level with y'all, because y'all are doing that for me. I see the numbers. I see the show is growing. Go ahead and hit me up, Earth. ERTH@erhunter.live. And you can support the cause, my show, my writing at patreon.com/erhunter. I'm not going to be afraid to ask for support. I think it's a smart move on my behalf because I love doing this, and I know you love it because you keep tuning in and you're listening to hours upon hours of the rhetorical sake. So help me help you. Patreon.com/erhunter. I'm going to start choosing different charities. You're going to see new videos pop up. And even if it's 50 cents, if it's $1, that's it. You can do it, cancel it, I don't care. But I guarantee you're going to be sowing a seed into fertile ground. www.erhunter.live is the best way to browse who I am, what I'm about, what I've done, and where I'm going. And I gotta say, there are some really big moves on the horizon. So stay tuned, because I'm so stoked to share them with you. So I was out to dinner getting sushi with a friend of mine, and we had both worked in the office she worked in now. It was like the post-production area, and I asked her if there were any kind of ghost stories. Not that I had encountered much of anything. I didn't like being at the offices alone at night after the sun went down, that's for sure. And I would try because it was cool to like stay there and write my scripts, and I did. I mean, that's how I cranked out a few hours and really focused because my adrenaline would always be pumping, but the janitors would roll through in the evening, and I'm like, dang, y'all are bold. Y'all going office to office in this dark ass building. Anyway, I know they seen some creepy stuff, but she was saying that some of the other coworkers, they would be in their office late at night or something, usually by themselves, thinking they by themselves, and they would like see out the corner of their eye like a little girl skipping down the hall, like singing a song with like pigtails or something, or some kid walk by, or they would hear it even if they didn't see it. And they'd go out their office to see if there really was a kid there in the middle of the night. Because sometimes, you know, you're doing post-production, you got to make deadlines, you know, primetime TV, primetime movie, or big feature film, whatever. Camera house, editing, digital audio recording, all that. You got to make deadlines. And so you're there late at night all by your big self. And you see some little kid skipping down the hallway. Like, that's freaky. And you look down the hallway and nobody's there. So that was the rumor. I just never, I kind of was even looking for spooky stuff when I had to go there, make a run at night if I forgot something at the office, but it never, not at work. I did go camping a couple of years ago, or about a year and a half ago, and a bunch of guys sitting around a campfire, so obviously some ghost stories going to get brought up. And one of the lead guys, the main guys that started that trip, I'll pass along some of the stories he shared, and maybe, who knows, maybe one day he'll be on the show. He's a great, awesome gentleman. So I don't know if he was just, you know, just really good at being a dad, so he had like the scariest stories up his sleeve, but he would talk about this apartment, like the studio apartment, or just, that sounded like a studio actually, and he had several incidents by himself, and then after he married his now wife or girlfriend, she was his girlfriend at the time, or they were living together, I don't know, but on his own, he said, you know, one evening he got up from the bed, went right over to the closet about, you know, 7-8 feet away from the edge of the queen size full size bed, and he goes to come out of the closet, like it's just not a walk-in closet, but he goes a step back to turn around, and all the furniture in the room was right at his knees. It had been pushed forward, so it made him buckle and like sit down, plop onto the bed. So like, that's weird, because he didn't hear the furniture move, and there was no one there to move it, and it all moved in unison. And so he said, even with his now wife at the time, I think this was before they had kids, clearly, but he would wake up in the middle of the night, and one night there was a little boy at the edge of his bed, the foot of his bed, and he could see him plain as day. And he just said the little boy just faded away like an apparition, but came from like being fully four-dimensional to non-existent. And so I guess another time he woke up in the middle of the night, and he sat up at the edge of his bed, at the foot of his bed, and was kind of just rubbing his head, And when he like cleared the sleep out of his eyes, it was the middle of the night or whatever, he just couldn't sleep. There was an old man sitting next to him and kind of doing the same thing, just sitting there. And he said he just turned and got back into bed. And by the time he did that, the old man was gone. Yeah, ghost stories, they never get old. And I'm lucky to have some of my own, but they don't feel like ghost stories when they're happening. I'm not scared. It's more so the retelling that's the scary part. Because when I'm in it, it's so real. It is real. It's my reality. And if no one's there to witness it, it becomes that. But, there was another incident, and I'm going to have Janae on the show, another female roommate, housemate, friend, and we were sitting on the couch together, and this cold feeling, just brush of air, just swooped down over us, gave us chills, and we both clenched and sank in the seat and just, to each other. And I look forward to hearing what she's got to say about that incident. In any case, this is a short one, but I didn't want to leave you hanging. I'm going to start gathering up and editing some more of my interviews so we can throw those out there before Halloween. I got some pieces of Tony Merkel's interview I didn't release yet. And I'm not going to be posting that full interview because when my computer crashed, the whole interview crashed with it. But I'm grateful for that because it happened. I got to be grateful for it. So we just got to keep going. And I've done great interviews before, so Lord knows I could do them again. You guys keep endeavoring to be your best selves. Keep striving for higher consciousness, higher connection with whatever divinity, divine light, energy source you relate to. Foster and nurture your gifts and talents, and find gratitude even in the challenges. It's definitely well worth it. And whatever's got you straight shook cannot be overcome by fear, but rather with faith, resilience, and a little bit of luck. You kids have a good one. Good night.
On the next episode of Str8 Shk.
In the reflection, and it realizes it's not supposed to be there. So I had that going. I was praying to Jesus. I was binding the devil. I was burning sage, and I guess it left. And actually, I'm going to interview her here pretty soon because she's like this phenomenal actress in Chicago. And I want to ask her, like, who is the man in white? And, like, did I really exercise it?
Sounds racist.
E.R. Hunter continues his interview with Tony Merkel of the Confessionals podcast.
She's black, I'm black, so that might be some type of traumatic, repressed daddy issues she's got. I don't know.
There you go.
Tune in to the third and final segment of E.R. Hunter's exclusive interview with Tony Merkel.
That's scary for people, to be faced with a decision where they could possibly have to change their beliefs or choose to be ignorant, knowing that there's information out there that challenges directly what they're choosing to believe. That's scary. It's really scary for people that are religious. I'm a Christian, and I'm an anomaly when it comes to this kind of stuff. There's not a lot of Christians out there that are openly, willingly looking into these kind of things with an open mind.
Yeah.
Because they're not secure enough in their own beliefs